This wasn't a launch, it was a public trial. The life of a showgirl broke records while igniting suspicions, bars with initials, theories bordering on Olivia, and a surgically precise defense of Charlie Puth that poured gasoline on the fire. Swifties versus critics, pop versus credibility, masterstroke or costly misstep. Stay, because we're going to put together the pieces that no one dares to say out loud.
The life of a showgirl? The life of a... Wait, what's the cover of The Life of a Showgirl?
From the melancholy of tortured poets to the guilt-free glow, 12 tracks, zero filler, and the duo that defined her sharpest pop, Max Martin and Shellback. The focus now is simple and dangerous. Hooks that stick with you even when you don't want them to. A Taylor emerges with surgical timing, inside jokes, twists on the final syllable, and those one-liners that demand a pause on TikTok. The tracklist feels like a festival set, an opening that raises the curtain, a middle section that gets your blood pumping, and a closing encore wing. Melodies that stay with you even when you turn off your phone. Everything points to the same thing. Replay, replay, replay. The result? An album that sounds expensive, short, and to the point, designed to win over the first listen and the second too. But here's where the clash begins.
There's a new My Little Pony movie coming out in 5 weeks.
How excited are you?
While some celebrate the return to pop, others dismiss it as formulaic. Same voltages, surgically precise bridges, and hooks designed down to the millimeter. The discussion is layered. For the audience, the album delivers on its promise. Melodies that grab you and won't let go. For some critics, it's a shiny mirror that repeats tricks and minimizes risks. On X, threads appeared with screenshots of bars. On TikTok, comparisons of choruses that sound like something else, and on YouTube, essays that put production patterns under the microscope. That divide, absolute success versus mixed reviews, is pure fuel for debate. What weighs more, the public's taste or the critic's scalpel? Because the conversation exploded when they started reading the lyrics of The Perfect Storm. The tradition of her track 5 put a red dot on her from day one. Expectation, vulnerability, a blow to the solar plexus. To some, it sounds like millennial cringe. To others, it's a surgical satire about carrying the weight of the world while smiling in the family photo. The production underscores it. Minimal drums, breathy vocals, verses that teeter on the edge between confession and barb. There's dark humor, hyperbole, and an uncomfortable mirror. The irony. Precisely what mocks cliches was accused of being cliche. That double-edged sword is part of the show. If you don't laugh at the mirror laughs at you. And that hurts.
Next, we have Eldest Daughter, where she reflects about marriage. She said, "When I don't believe in marriage, that was a lie." She wrote all these songs before she got engaged to Travis Kelce. So I feel like this is her hinting that, she's gonna get married.
But the spiciest moment came with hinted proper names, lines that seemed to contain initials, Easter eggs that many interpreted as signals, and a collective feeling that the eye of the song was looking someone directly in the eye. Suddenly, threads with screenshots, timelines assembled like case files, and playlists turned into evidence. Fans connecting the dots, critics calling for a halt, and the rumor growing louder. If that bar isn't accidental, then it's a message. And when the message sounds personal, the game stops being just music. The room was split in two here. Here, the war of interpretations began.
And next, we have the song Actually Romantic, which fans think this was a diss to Charlie XCX. Charlie is married to George Daniel from the 1975. Taylor's ex is Matt Healy, who was also in the 1975, which means that they definitely cross paths a lot. Taylor never confirmed that this song was about Charlie. However, I feel like a lot of fans are just connecting the dots, being like, this might have been about her.
Actually, Romantic leaves lines that the internet read as a jab. Boring Barbie, when you catch her, she gives you courage. Boom. Within hours, there were zooms on the bar, time-stamped clips, and theories shouted at the top of their lungs. Days later, Charlie appears on SNL wearing a Max's Kansas City t-shirt. Some see it as a vintage nod, others as a pointed jab. Silences that weigh more than a tweet. Coincidence or a glittery message. Ambiguity is the weapon. It feeds clips, replicas, and chain reactions. Because when reading depends on who you follow, every t-shirt becomes a subpoena, and every verse a file. And if that sparked the flame, another glue lit the fuse of older theories.
The spice level on this album is high. It's entertainment.
Yes.
It's my one job.
It's the same fourth note's the same, but then the Haley Steinfeld song goes somewhere different. So in this case, no interpolation. If I could just take a moment and say this. Sometimes artists will accidentally interpolate each other, and it's almost never done maliciously. We have to really stop demonizing this when it happens. Interpolations and sampling, this stuff has been going on for a really long time, and some great music has come about because...
This is where fans stop listening and start investigating. Father figure isn't about the ex, it's about power. The voice speaks to a guide who opens doors for you and then signs off on the official version of your story. In forums and threads, the loudest theory links that shadow to an old chapter, the student who ended up with shifted credits and uncomfortable headlines. Yes, many think of her, even though her name never appears. Others say she's not an artist, but rather costumes and agendas that exact a toll for helping you. Nothing confirmed, everything implied, exactly how the internet likes it. The lyrics leave strategic gaps for each person to fill in their own suspect, and the result is gunpowder. Playlists used as evidence, timelines that read like case files, and comments that sound like a verdict. Is it a settling of scores or an x-ray of gatekeeping? It depends on who you ask. And as the file grows, the album offers its sweet counterpoint. Tracks that seem to be written for Travis.
This is my brand new album.
We got TS12, baby.
This is my brand new album. It's called The Life of a Showgirl.
Love it.
It was something that I was working on while I was in Europe on the Eras tour. And
so while you were on tour,
I was working.
Okay.
I would be
How
on tour.
on earth did she do this on the tour is still blowing my mind.
I just love it. I just love it a lot. I love music. I would be playing shows. I'd do like 3 shows in a row. I'd have 3 days off. I'd fly to Sweden, go back to the tour, and actually like working on this. I was physically exhausted at this point in the tour, but I was so mentally stimulated and so excited to be creating. And this is...
And literally living the life of a showgirl.
I was.
While she wrote it.
That's why I called it that.
There's no mystery here. Everything screams Travis Kelce. It's evident in the tone and the lyrics. Less late night drama, more stable relationship. Elizabeth Taylor sounds like this is serious, not like flirting. She puts the ring on the table and it sounds like a signature in diamonds. Honey takes old fights and turns them into complicity. The fandom sees 87 every place. References to rings and stadium nods. No magnifying glass needed. This is a Taylor with an emotional safe. Zero domestic drama, no late night crying. She's overflowing with confidence and inner playfulness. The side effect? If the heart is armored, blood runs along the edges. The industry, rivals, and critics become the target, and that's where the album sharpens its teeth. But the biggest fire came from another front: viral copies.
So don't worry at all, the album actually is good. If you haven't been enjoying it, I have some techniques that will allow you to realize how good it is. The first technique is just basic Pavlovian conditioning. I've started eating cake whenever I listen to the album because I love cake. And that way my brain starts to associate positive feelings with the album. And now I'm actually thinking that Cancelled is really all day, every day, I'm holding this fork firmly against the inside of my hand so that I get used to just a low level of pain. The only time that I release is when I listen to the album. Now, the second I turn on this album, this wave of relief just rushes over my body. And that's made me think wood is really funny. These are some of the techniques that I've used to enjoy the album because it really is good.
Comparisons every place. This sounds like X, that sounds like Y. TikTok exploded with stitches. On YouTube, they splice 2 songs together and show it's exactly the same. And suddenly, Charlie Puth launches into a mini lesson. Copying isn't the same as being inspired, and if you don't trace the melody, there's no theft. He didn't name names, but everyone got the message. For Swifties, it's a breath of fresh air. For haters, an alibi. Producers react, trot out the same 4 chords as always, nearly identical BPM, and the drama escalates. Platforms love chaos. Every comparison gets views. Every defense boosts the algorithm. Result: more noise, more streams, more fighting. So what have we decided?
Tell me why I thought we were going to get pop perfection from this album, and instead we just get mid-tempo mediocrity. I think the very little branding we got leading up to the release of this album was also possibly a little misleading, because I thought it was going to be flashy and Vegas and Showgirl, like in the title of the album. But everything just sounds the same. There's nothing that's groundbreaking. I will say I do like Actually Romantic. I saved that and I probably will go back and listen to that, but everything else is a skip.
The Life of a Showgirl is divisive because Taylor decided to shine without asking for permission. Hooks that won't let go, coded winks, and a touch of venom. For many, it's her sharpest pop era. For others, it's pure show without soul. What do you see? A winning strategy or a recycled recipe? In terms of numbers, it's a runaway success, but in the subtext, the fight is only just beginning. beginning. And the spicy question, are we punishing her for playing to win or because she reflects something we don't want to see?
My favorite thing about this whole Taylor Swift's new album discourse is the Taylor Swift fans that don't know what to do with themselves because they don't like it. Like, they feel like they're sinning. I don't know what spell she has these people under, but I keep seeing videos of girls being like, okay, maybe on my 5th listen, in the car, on my lunch break, on the way to get a coffee, I'll like the album. Maybe if I like go on Genius and I memorize all the lyrics and then I listen to it again, then I'll like it and understand it. Baby, that's not letting an album marinate. That's a commitment that I think is concerning. That's giving Stockholm syndrome. That's giving, immersive experience. I'm scared for you. And then there are the ones that are like pretending to like it. I mean, maybe they genuinely do, but I think she's got y'all under spells because they'll be mouthing the words, like they'll be like, with the song playing in the background, and the caption will be something like, y'all just don't get it. This is the best thing my ears have ever heard. And I'm listening to the sound over and over on TikTok, and I'm like, girl, that shit's so ass.